Today I want to talk to you about recession. Now, some people would say that we're in a recession, others would say we're heading into a recession, and others would say, well, recession, we're not going to have it, everything's going to be fine. Right? It doesn't matter what you believe right now. What matters is what are you going to do about it? Because the reality is during a recession, some businesses can do very well, others can totally close down, and others can do quite average to poor. But there are things when a recession happens that you have no control over. Things in the economy. But everything within your business, you have 100% control over. And one of the first things you should control when you're around a recession is your marketing. Most people say you shouldn't cut back on your marketing, you should spend more on marketing during a recession. But that's scary for most business owners to even comprehend that because their marketing is almost non-existent. So how do you go from not spending a lot on marketing to spending more when none of your campaigns have been tested? None of them have really worked in the past. And so what I want to show you today is something I call the Recession Marketing Growth Game Plan. And these are 7 assets that you can build that you can win new clients for in a recession that don't have to cost you a lot of money, but they're super powerful. They're methods that can give you clients even when you don't have a lot to spend. But I'm not saying cut back on spending. I'm just saying that implement this and then it'll put you in good stead to get through that recession without having to decline. Now, there are 7 assets in your business, marketing assets, not liabilities, assets, and you're going to see why they're called assets, that you need to build and need to nurture during this time. And so I want to go through them with you now. You can see here that I have this ebook that you can download at some stage called the Recession Marketing Growth Game Plan. And the first asset I want to talk to you about is your database. And so your database is your most powerful asset in your business because you should have in your database your prospects and your clients. And so during a recession, if you have a database filled with prospects who could be your client and clients, then if you focus 100% on that database and nurture that database and get those prospects to know, like, and trust you, then those prospects, when they're ready to make a move towards your business or your service, they will call you. But what most businesses do is they have this database that's basically dead and they don't nurture it and they don't contact the database. And then when something bad happens, they're like, let's just email the database and let's get lots of work. And when they email it the first time and nothing happens, they say, well, that was silly. The database is no good. No, the database is fine. You have your prospects in there, but it's a relationship. You don't just walk up to someone one day and say, do you want to get married? No, you've got to kind of take them through a whole journey. You've got to go on a first date and then build a relationship. And then at some point when the time's right, they're like, yeah, I'll marry you. And prospects are the same. If they don't know you, they don't like you, and they don't trust you, then they're not going to work with you. And so your database is the first way, it's the first asset at low cost that you can build and help you during a recession if you don't want to spend more money getting more prospects. All right, so the next asset you need to build is a Facebook group. Now, I hear a lot of you saying, Facebook group, that's ridiculous. I'm not interested in social media. Well, I'm the same. Believe it or not, I don't use social media much for my personal life. But for business, I use it a lot. And a Facebook group is one of the best business assets you can build. Now, hear me out. You have a database, right, with people that you can email. It's kind of a one-way relationship where they don't really talk back and most emails don't get through. But with a Facebook group, you have a live interactive list of people who, if you've built that group properly, are your prospects. And when you post something in that group, people will see it. Many more people will see it and they'll react to it. And you can build community around that group. And you will become the center of that group, your business, and you'll become the authority and you'll become the market leader and you'll become the trusted advisor. But the most powerful thing about a group is when you post something, more people will see that than any other platform around today. Unless paid advertising, obviously. You can pay for it. But free, the Facebook group is the best way to build an interactive community that know, like, and trust you. And so I want to encourage you. You don't need a big Facebook group. Get your database, email them and say, we have this new group, and fill the group with those people. And then every time you get a new lead in, ask them to join the group. It's as simple as that. But if you did do that and they're on your database and they're in your group, you now are touching those people multiple times a week through videos or articles or emails. So your group is the second asset that you need to build to get you through a recession. The third asset is a YouTube channel. And so, again, I hear a lot of you say, YouTube, come on, it's for entertainment. Can I just say, again, everything I'm teaching you today, I'm actually doing it. And I never really believed in YouTube much until I started to do it and get results. And the reality is YouTube is the second biggest search engine on the planet. And most people now, a lot of people don't watch TV anymore. They get their entertainment, they get their news from YouTube. And then there's a whole bunch of people who actually go to YouTube to find answers for questions they have. And they have to learn something, they go to YouTube. And so with your business, if you create educational videos where you can teach your prospects how to get the results that they want to get, and then insert yourself as part of the solution, then you'll have your prospects searching, they'll find you, and what they'll do is something that Netflix has taught us to do, and that is binge watch. When they find one of your videos, they'll watch 5, 6, 7, 10 of them. They'll binge watch a whole bunch if they like it. And at the end of that binge watching session, they will see you as a trusted advisor. And if you create your videos properly where you'll have a call to action for them to book an appointment in your calendar or call you, you'll get a whole bunch of people doing that. Now, yes, this takes a bit of time to set up, but not as long as you think. If you're creating the right videos that people are searching for, you don't need thousands of subscribers and thousands of views. You just need the right person to view your video who's ready to go. And so YouTube is very powerful. Now, yes, you've got to start building it today. None of these things are easy, but they're super powerful and they're low cost. So the next audience you want to build is a remarketing audience. And remarketing is very, very powerful and very, very cheap because you're only showing ads to a small group of people. And so on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram, you can build remarketing audiences of these 4 types of people. The first one is your database. You can import your database into these platforms and they'll match up those people based on their email address and phone number and make a list, and then you can show ads to those people. So now you can email them on a regular basis, you can get them in your Facebook group, and you can show them ads on these 3 platforms. It's super powerful to build authority with your prospects. The next audience is a website remarketing audience. So anyone that visits your website, you can connect your website to these platforms, and Facebook will build a list of these people and you can show ads to them. Now, if anyone visits your website, they're probably a prospect, right? Because if you're an accountant, it's very rare that a grandmother without a business is going to visit that website, unless it's your grandmother without a business. But other people's grandmothers aren't going to visit it. So the reality is people who do visit your website are normally good prospects, and you can stay in touch with them by showing them ads on a regular basis at a very low cost. The next one is a video remarketing audience. So if anyone on these platforms watch a video of yours, if they watch 10%, 25%, 50% of that video, you can show more ads to them later. It's very, very powerful. And the last one is anyone who's liked or interacted with your page. You can show ads to these people. So you can see that you have a very small audience that over time you can build larger and just show ads to them. And you can start with like $2 or $3 a day. It doesn't have to cost a lot. But what you're doing is you're building authority with these people. It's a very powerful marketing asset that you need to build. The next asset is your website. And so your website is one of your top marketing assets, but unfortunately most businesses, they don't see value in their website because they don't get value from their website. But I build websites called a sales-driven website. And a sales-driven website is a website that is built to attract, capture, and convert high-quality visitors into prospects and then into clients. Now, that's a great statement I just said, but does your business do that? Does your website do that? Because if it doesn't, you need to build a sales-driven website, and it needs to be a marketing asset. And what's great about it is that this asset is 100% owned by you, not by Facebook, not by LinkedIn, but by you. And so why you want this asset is because it becomes the education center, the training center that people go to, your prospects go to learn more about your industry and your business. And then there's 2 more I want to talk about. The next marketing asset is your social media profiles. Now let me be upfront with you with social media. Social media, when you have, say, 100 people that like your page, right now, these platforms will only show about 5% to 10% of people who like your page, the content that you post. So it's almost useless. They want you to pay to play, to pay to reach those people. So I would say that you need to do it, but don't put too much faith in social media, free, organic social media. You need to do it because when someone goes to your profiles, they need to see that you're still around, see that you're active. You can't have a social media profile that has nothing on it. But don't expect that to be one of your best marketing assets. You need to do it, but don't put too much faith in it. Those other 5 that I've told you about are the ones where you put your effort. And then the last one I want to talk to you about is podcasting. Now, podcasting is a very interesting marketing asset, but not for the reasons that you would think. I do not recommend starting a podcast to become the next Joe Rogan, right? Because you're just not going to be able to do it as a business owner. No one really cares that much about you or your industry. And so doing it to be famous, doing it to get lots of downloads is not a good reason to build a podcast. A better reason and a more powerful reason is to connect with your strategic partners and your prospects. So hear me out. What I want you to do is make a list of all the strategic partners that you want to connect with who have your client base as their client base, but you don't compete. And then make a list of your top 100 prospects that you want to work for, but you know that if you just called both of these groups up, they're just not going to speak to you. So don't call them up and ask, call them up and give. Ask them if you can interview them on your podcast, your new podcast. And most people, when they say, wow, you want to interview me on the podcast? They say yes, because they're flattered. And most of these people are experts in their industry and no one really cares other than their clients. And so when someone else asks them, can I interview you about what you do? They say yes, they see it as a privilege. And so during that process of you interviewing them, they get to know you, you get to know them, and you build a relationship. And instead of asking someone, can I work for you? Can you give me business? If you ring them and say, can I interview you? Can I do something for you? Can I promote you? The relationship is changed, and now you're on a level playing field. Now you're peers in the industry, and that's how you start a powerful relationship. So whether they're strategic partners or prospects, starting a podcast is a perfect way of doing this. So I want to encourage you. We've gone through these 7 different marketing assets as part of the Recession marketing growth game plan. And I want to encourage you, build them. Build them now. Whether we're in recession now or we're heading into it or it never happens, you need to build these 7 assets, because once you build them, it creates a tsunami of prospects booking appointments in your calendar and purchasing your services over a period of time. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's not, like some of these marketing gurus tell you that you do these 3 things and you're going to have $1 million business in 3 months. No, this is how you build a real business. This is how you build assets that grow your business over time. But you need to start today. And when things get tight, when you have these 7 assets, they will grow your business better than almost any other marketing method. Start today. So I want to encourage you to book a call with me if you want to talk more about these methods. I call this the Authority Marketing Machine. You can see there's lots of content on my website about it. And if you want to prepare for what's coming, then book a call. I'd love to chat to you, show you how this could work for your business. And you can just click a button around this video and you'll be able to book that time. So have a great day. There's lots more information coming up. And I want to encourage you, you have control over some things and no control over others. Control totally the things you have control over. And marketing is one of the things you can do that. Have a great day. I'll speak to you soon.